Alright, hey, what's going on, guys? It is Liam. Happy Tuesday. So, today... I just want to make sure my mic's working. Okay, so today we're going to be watching Rocket Lab launch their Electron rocket carrying this mission called Fasten Your Space Belts. It's going to be launching a satellite. But Fasten Your Space Belts is just the mission of the name of the mission. I think in the thumbnail I might have accidentally called it Fasten Your Seat Belts. I'm so worried. Or actually, no, I mean, it's no big deal. I think that's what I call that. But yeah, I mean. Yeah, I can just change it back. But anywho, it's so yeah. It's funny because I think this, so like since this rocket is actually going to be launching from New Zealand, they're going to we're in different time zones, obviously, so this rocket is technically launching like tomorrow, because in their time zone it's like February 19th, but in my time zone in the USA it's only February 18th, which is kind of funny if you ask me. But yeah, I mean that also makes me realize that since there are 4 time zones in the United States, that mean we could celebrate like 4 New Years. Or the United States celebrates 4 New Years in total. Alright, so that's the rocket right there. It's gonna be launching. It's called the Electron rocket. It's actually not that big. It's actually pretty small, which is pretty cool. Or it's designed, and that's because it's designed to launch small satellites, not really big ones, which do cost a lot of money. That guy's really happy. That's pretty cool. That's inside of the a view from inside, a view of the rocket separating during the mission. Fasten your space belts. Cool.
Standing tall on Pad B at Launch Complex 1 is our 60th Electron rocket, ready to go to space for an Earth imaging mission for Black Sky. It's a beautiful afternoon to launch, with the countdown to liftoff scheduled for 12:17 local time or 23:17 UTC. My name is Sam Peters, and with me is Hannah Jury from our Electron project engineering team. We'll be taking you through today's mission to space, set to launch in just over 16 minutes from now.
Thank you, Sam. It certainly is a stellar afternoon to go to space. Today's mission for Black Sky is headed to a 470-kilometer circular low Earth orbit with Gen 3. Gen 3 is the first of a new series of Black Sky spacecraft that will join their constellation of Earth imaging satellites already on orbit. We started launching for Black Sky all the way back in 2019, when Electron launches were still in their single digits. Our mission today is called Fasten Your Space Belts, and it's the first of multiple dedicated missions on Electron that are lined up for Black Sky's constellation. Constellation building requires flexibility and control over how, when, and where your satellites are deployed, and that's a service we're glad to be providing for our customer today. For more about their mission, here's a video from Black Sky.
In today's dynamic world, change is constant. National security situations can turn critical in an instant. Decisions can't wait. Minutes matter. Since 2014, Black Sky has delivered the power of foresight, the superpower needed to stay one step ahead of change. But the game is changing, and so is Black Sky. As we enter a new era in space-based intelligence, Meet Gen 3, Black Sky's first very high-resolution satellite. Built on proven processes and agile small-sat development, Gen 3's enhanced image quality allows you to classify vehicles, aircraft, and vessels in greater detail.
Gee, that is crazy.
Shortwave infrared imaging breaks through smoke and haze.
Could you imagine something,
Targets are
or like I know like
every hour.
a car may be like big to us, but compared to the whole Earth, could you imagine like trying to image something as like
on land, sea,
like that
or
that's
in the
like
air. You need the
like something
intelligence that helps you act.
like, could you
not
imagine
just
trying to
fast,
image a car
but
like
first.
considering how big the Earth
next
is like
generation
from
of
space?
space-based
That'd be
intelligence
that's
starts
like
here. So
really
fasten your
hard, you know.
space belts.
Really hard to
Welcome
do.
to the era of Gen 3.
Generation 3.
It will be our 9th launch overall for Black Sky, making us the most prolific launch provider for their constellation to date. Black
can't imagine
Sky is one of our
satellites, like,
earliest
starting
and
to, like, image
longest
people.
standing
That would be
mission
pretty
partners,
crazy.
and it's great to be back on the pad with them once again to advance and expand their constellation.
Now, if you've seen enough Electron launches before, you might have noticed that the nose cone for today's mission is looking a little bit longer than it usually does. That's because we're flying an extended fairing today, which better accommodates the dimensions
that's what I
of
am.
Black Sky's new Gen 3 satellite. Customized fairings are a simple way that we can tailor Electron launches to meet a wide range of mission requirements. Now each sit atop the same launch vehicle with a common interface to the fairing, which reduces integration time and cost.
All of this to
How
say
hasty
that
is
the
a
beauty
pretty
of
launch
our
vehicle?
launch vehicle is that with a common launch platform, we're able to support multiple mission profiles, whether you're flying in orbit
I
or
keep
below.
calling hasty.
Now we
For
are
some
at
reason.
T minus 13 minutes in the countdown. Let's get an update from the mission control team as they run the go, no-go poll for today's launch. Our operators in mission control will report in on Electron's different systems and confirm with a go or no-go if everything's looking good for launch. This ranges from the payload status and the rocket's environmental conditions to its propellant tank levels and whether the skies will remain clear at liftoff.
That's right, and from range control in Mahia, our operators there will report on the ranger's readiness and Launch Complex 1's ground systems to confirm the pad is ready for liftoff. All operators report up to the launch director in charge of operations. And today, in mission control, our launch director is Michael Pearson. Let's tune in now to the poll as that status update gets underway.
Okay. Alright. For about a little more than 12 minutes before liftoff of the rocket.
And LD to all stations on mission, proceeding with the go, no-go sequence. Stage,
Stages go.
avionics,
Avionics is go.
GNC,
GNC is go.
VCon,
Econ is go.
T1,
T1 is go.
GC,
GC is go.
Go.
PLS,
PLS is go.
RSO,
RSO is go.
So they're just making sure everything is okay before
Med is
launch.
go.
MM,
MM is go.
and LD sub.
LD sub is go.
Alright.
Okay, all stations, that concludes the go, no-go sequence. We are T minus 11 minutes, 15 seconds and counting. We are go for terminal count auto sequence at T minus 10 minutes. From this time, the 3-word hold procedure is in effect.
Okay. We'll go for flight, guys.
The countdown clock is continuing and we are go for liftoff of our 60th Electron mission. We're at T minus 10 minutes and counting, squaring us up for the launch attempt right on 12:17 local time or 23:17 UTC.
We are about to reach another Electron milestone today with our 60th rocket on the pad, ready for launch. Now 60 launches is an impressive feat, but how about 60 rockets in 60 seconds? Let's enjoy this hot and fast recap of every Electron launch to date.
Alright.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's a lot of electrons. Are they going to show the capstone or whatever? What's actually? Oh my goodness! Look at all that. I'm really proud of Rocket Lab. Great achievement.
Now, every year since Electron's first mission, we have beaten our own record number of launches from the year before. So you already know that 2025 is gearing up to be another exciting year of even more Electron launches.
All right.
Now, one of the foundations to our success and a critical element in the ramp up in Electron's launch cadence is having our very own launch site to fly from. Launch Complex 1 opened as the world's first private orbital launch site and has been the primary launch site for Electron ever since. Having our own launch site means we're always free of traffic jams. With 2 launch pads to cycle between, a 24/7 launch operations team, and rockets always ready to go, Launch Complex 1 helps keep access to space open for the satellites that need to get there.
All right.
Earlier this week, we caught up with our Director of Test and Launch Operations and today's Launch Director, Michael Pearson.
It's a beautiful launch site. Look at that.
So Launch Complex 1 is Rocket Lab's privately owned launch complex here in New Zealand, in one of the most remote parts of the country, in a remote part of the world. We have 2 launch pads, as well as a large hangar where we can process multiple Electron vehicles simultaneously, and a number of clean rooms where customers can work on their payloads and integrate their payloads into Electron. The location that we're in here in New Zealand
Rocket Lab, New Zealand.
Fantastic. There are very few airplanes flying above us. There are very few ships in the seas around us. And so it's both easy for us to manage those during a launch campaign, and also does not prohibit us from launching pretty much any time. The fact that Rocket Lab owns and operates LC-1 on their own, it's extremely advantageous. It means that we have full control over everything that goes on there. We have first and only priority, and we can do with it what we want. So we can configure things exactly to how Electron is designed, and we can make it work specifically for our needs so that we can turn around launches as fast as anything. We also operate from LC2, which is Wallops Flight Facility. It's a very similar activity over there. We just have some other parties that are involved. We have some really great partners that help us with those operations. We've proven that we can launch one rocket after another within 24 hours. And with all the pads occupied, we could do the same for 3 rockets in 24 hours as well.
I never noticed that, like, Hasty actually had a more extended fairing than the original Electron.
It prohibits flexibility in a lot of cases. So if you are operating from a pad at federal launch sites and another organization is also operating and they have an issue on their vehicle and they have to delay a day, that may affect your opportunities to launch or other parties' opportunities to launch. And it's this cumulative effect that means that everyone's sort of impacted by everyone else. Whereas with our own launch site that we have full control over and are the sole operators at, if we have to delay a day for weather or similar things, then not a big deal. We don't need to stop anyone else from launching. We deal with it ourselves. When we did our first Electron launch from LC-1, it was not only an accomplishment for Electron as a vehicle, but also the fact that we were the first in the world to have a private orbital launch site. And that was a huge deal. The regulatory hurdles that we had to jump through and the efforts that it took to make that happen were just as big of a deal as to get Electron off the pad. And so that was a huge accomplishment, an exciting accomplishment, and we've just leveraged that since then. And, you know, as I've said, added another pad and made it just more and more easy for us to do it. And it's just so liberating to have the freedom to operate from there. So it's the most beautiful launch pad in the world, without a doubt.
Now, it takes about 9 minutes to get to space from LC1, so stay tuned for liftoff in around 5 minutes as we embark on our 60th Electron launch. The mission begins with liftoff, of course, and shortly after we launch, we quickly reach a critical milestone called max Q. This is when the aerodynamic stress on the rocket is at its greatest. Once we pass through max Q at around 2.5 minutes into the flight, the rocket's first stage propellant is depleted. At that point, the 9 Rutherford engines will shut down, the first and second stages will separate, and the stage 2 Rutherford engine will come to life.
Once we make it through staging, Electron's protective fairing shell will separate and fall away. This action exposes the kick stage and Black Sky's Gen 3 satellite to space for the very first time ahead of payload deployment. At around 6.5 minutes into the mission, we perform a unique operation called battery hot swap. We'll go into that in a bit more detail as the milestone occurs. Then, at the 9-minute mark, the second stage will shut down its engine. The kick stage with Black Sky's satellite will separate before entering a transfer orbit, coasting around the Earth for about 40 minutes.
And once that pass is completed, we ignite our Curie engine on the kick stage to circularize our orbit around Earth before the Black Sky satellite can be separated and join its Earth imaging constellation.
Before we get to liftoff, Electron operations will enter the final count. At T-minus 2 minutes, control of the countdown is taken over by Electron's flight computer, which will manage final operations autonomously. Our launch director will then count the clock down from T-minus 10 seconds, with Electron's engines set to ignite at T-minus 2 seconds for a liftoff right on T0.
That's right, and very soon we will be on our way to space for the 60th launch. We're bringing up the audio channels now for mission control to listen through that countdown in real time. So we'll be back with you shortly after liftoff.
Auto sequence is locked.
And confirm all expected flight computer ASGOs are green.
ASGOs are green.
I don't know. I mean, this is
Okay, all
really...
stations, we are go for auto sequence start at T-minus 2 minutes. LD is go for launch.
I mean, this is unrelated, but I have like so much like acne on my chin. You know, I need to put some like cream, like some type of cream on that or something. I don't know. Ointment out. Ow! I know I shouldn't be picking at it. Alright, so there's the mission timeline. So we're not gonna stay for
The vehicle is fully on interport.
for payload deployment and everything like
FTS is
that.
green and enable for flight.
We're just gonna watch the launch and like and that's it.
Box load is complete. System is in recirculation.
Alright, we're approaching 1 minuto. Okay?
Anti-geyser is disabled.
Alright, less than 1 minute.
Stage 1 and Stage 2 tanks are pressed for flight.
High flow engine purges enabled.
T minus 20 seconds and counting. 10, 9, 8,
Here we go,
7,
guys.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off.
There we go.
Getting pitch over.
Stage 1 propulsion nominal.
Fasten your space belts. We are on our way to space with Electron. Velocity and altitude are increasing towards our target of around 27,000 kilometers an hour and an insertion altitude of around 205 kilometers. Now that we've cleared the launch pad, the next major milestone is max Q. This is the point during the flight in which Electron experiences the highest aerodynamic stress that we can expect during ascent. Now, let's listen into mission control for that crucial call.
Cleared max Q.
AGP discharge nominal.
There goes Electron sailing cleanly through max Q and carrying onwards to space. You gotta love a daytime launch. We are getting some beautiful views from the onboard cameras back at Earth right now. Electron is now at an altitude of around 21 kilometers and traveling at speeds past 2,900 kilometers per hour. Coming up next is a particularly busy sequence of events, each occurring with only seconds of each other. Electron will first perform main engine cutoff, what we call MECO, which will shut down the Stage 1 Rutherford engines. That's followed by stage separation and then ignition of its space-optimized Rutherford engine to carry on with the mission. You can watch it all unfold across these camera views shortly.
Stage 1 propulsion holding nominal. Stand by for MECO in 30 seconds.
I wonder when Rocket Lab is actually going to reuse like a one of their boosters. I know they've obviously recovered their boosters, but I don't know when they're gonna start reusing them like SpaceX does. And they even reused one of their engines on a rocket, but I wonder when they're gonna reuse like a whole entire booster. Hopefully it's soon. All right, here we go.
MECO confirmed.
All right, so the engine shut off, and now it's time for the Stage 2 to start its engine. Here we go.
Stage 2 ignition confirmed.
Starting to light up.
And that is exactly what we wanted. MECO, stage separation, and second stage ignition all performed flawlessly on Electron's 60th flight. The rocket's second stage fired up healthy and is now continuing well on its way to orbit with Black Sky's Gen 3 payload, traveling now at more than 8,000 kilometers per hour. With the weight of the first stage gone, it's time to drop some more and streamline the journey to space for the second stage. Electron's fairing will soon split and eject its nose cone halves, introducing Gen 3 to the vacuum of space for the very first time. What we're waiting to hear next from Mission Control is that fairing jettison is confirmed. Let's listen in. And there goes that nose cone. Electron's fairing has been jettisoned. We are now 3 minutes into the flight with less than 6 minutes remaining for the second stage burn.
Guidance is nominal.
Oh, by the way, guys, just saying, I won't be doing a stream on Friday because I'm going to be, away. So I'm trying to think. Yeah, so I'm not going to stream next Friday. Or this coming Friday, I mean.
Right, T plus 4 minutes on the clock, and the mission is continuing nominally for Electron and Black Sky's Gen 3 satellite. Having made it through liftoff, stage separation, second stage ignition, and fairing jettison, our next milestone is one that you will only witness on Electron. Our rocket's 3D printed engines are electrically powered by batteries, but the energy needing to keep the rocket going into space means that those batteries can drain within minutes. To keep the mission moving along, Electron's flight computer instructs the second stage to switch the engine's power source to its next battery pack, and it's a move we call the battery hot swap.
When that action happens, the old set of batteries are jettisoned and fall away from Electron, so you might catch them on your screen when they do. Otherwise, the comms call to confirm battery hot swap was successful should be coming up shortly from Mission Control.
So this is the battery. Oh, where's here? So the thing on here, I don't know where my cursor is. Oh, my mouse isn't on. So this is the battery right
Guidance
here.
is nominal. 200 seconds remaining.
And the on the right hand side. So and then this is when it comes up to battery jettison, this battery is gonna fall away. So yeah. It's crazy how much energy they just burn through like, within a matter of minutes.
Nominal, approaching hot swap in 30 seconds.
It's like it's like me using an iPhone. The battery just burns out so quickly.
Throttling down.
Alright, here we go. There it goes. There the battery.
Confirm hot swap successfully.
Electron has successfully completed its battery hot swap on the second stage. We're now 6 minutes into the flight at an altitude of 204 kilometers. We've passed most key milestones for this launch, with only a few more to go, including second engine cutoff. At SECO, the Rutherford engine will throttle down and then stop in preparation for kick stage separation. This marks the end of the first phase of the mission, which is expected at around 9 minutes into the flight.
Now, the journey from the launch pad to the mission's target altitude takes less than 10 minutes altogether. Now, at T plus 7 minutes since launch, that means we only have a couple more minutes to go until Electron concludes this first phase of the mission. Our speed is at more than 19,000 kilometers an hour, so not much more to go now until we reach that optimal insertion speed of around 27,000 kilometers an hour.
Alright. Yeah, so I thought they were going to be carrying. I originally thought they were going to be carrying 2 satellites on this mission, but I guess this satellite is too big, so they can only be carrying 1. Look at that.
Only a few seconds now until we reach SECO, or second engine cutoff. This is the moment when Electron's second stage Rutherford engine shuts down ahead of stage separation, with the kick stage carrying Black Sky's Gen 3 payload. Standing by with Mission Control for that call.
All right. Alright, and here we have engine shut off.
Seeker confirmed.
Stage separation confirmed.
Nominal transfer orbit achieved.
Beautiful. A clean engine shutdown for Electron and a smooth separation for the kick stage with Black Sky's Gen 3 satellite. Great work so far by today's mission operators, and now it is on to the next phase of the mission, to place Gen 3 on orbit with its constellation. The kick stage takes about 45 minutes to complete its transfer orbit around Earth, and that'll set it up nicely for payload deployment for Gen 3. Now, we said it at the start, but it bears repeating. From Earth to orbit in 9 minutes. 60 launches in, and it still doesn't get old.
For now, the kick stage is in cruise mode, making its journey around to the opposite side of the globe ahead of its circularization burn from our relightable Curie engine. 40 minutes until that milestone, so for now, we'll kick back and wait for the kick stage to come alive. You can track the mission's progress around Earth with this tracking animation. If we're above your town, give us a wave. We'll see you back here shortly.
All right, so I'm just gonna sign off right here. I'm not gonna actually stay for the payload deployment. So if you guys want to go watch the rest of this, I put the link in the description for y'all. So yeah, so this is going to be it for today. All right, so wow, we got some people who are tuning in. All right, guys, so I'm gonna call it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.